Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the housing market. Article came out, had all of the numbers, just brand new numbers for the last year, and looking forward. Housing market competition in the U.S. eases this summer. So let's talk about that. It eases. What does that mean? Does that mean tanking? What does it mean?
It means just that it's not as aggressive as it was, but doesn't mean that it's not aggressive. It's just not as aggressive as it was.
Okay, so instead of getting multiple offers, we've got some data. We've got a lot of slides here, so you have to be patient. We have a lot of data in here that's probably going to surprise you.
Yes.
Okay, some of the stuff in here is going to definitely surprise you. Okay, but the bottom line is instead of seeing your house getting 30 offers in the first week, you may only get a few.
Right.
Which is still historically unheard of, right? But like I said, we're looking at everything. We're looking at Las Vegas and national. It's really the only numbers we care about. What's going on nationally so we can give general information, and then what's going on specifically in Las Vegas because we can see that data.
Right.
Actual data and not someone who grabs a source and then they grab it from a different source that takes different data and then, or they take a median 1 month and an average the next month or vice versa, and they see a sharp change and they report the prices fell 50%, which is what I heard on another video. Someone reported that prices are falling in Vegas. And I'm like, oh, they're not actually. And we've got that data.
Right. So remember, the natural, normal time to sell a house is 4 to 6 months. So this thing where homes are selling significantly faster than that, it's still a hot market.
Okay, so let's talk about the first thing. The first thing is we did a whole video already yesterday about inflation, jobs, unemployment, and how that affects the housing market.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to put that video right here. You can click on it. It'll save it off to the side. And then when you're done watching this video, you can watch that video. So make sure you do that. We're going to talk about the first thing because all the other stuff we talked about is in that other video. Okay, this is mortgage rates.
Right.
Okay, everyone's saying mortgage rates will crush the housing market. Okay, for the week ending July 7th, 30-year mortgages fell to 5.3%, the largest one-week drop in 14 years. This was down from a 2020 high of 5.8% one, but up from 3.11% start of last year. Keep in mind, the median long-term interest rates are 7.6%. We are still well below the median long-term interest rates, down from 5.8 to 5.3. We've got more numbers in here about this. That's normal fluctuation, right?
It is. And, look, mortgage rates change. And the fact that it dropped by that much, it kind of lets you know that there is some cushion in there regarding the mortgage interest rates. So they're not quite as set in stone, and they're not quite set on this trajectory either. So that's a good thing if you're a home buyer. It's a good thing if you're a home seller because it just encourages home buyers, right?
Yeah, so that's good news. Rates are not going up, at least the short term in the last week. That was a substantial change that a lot of people are probably very happy for. Now, we talked about this before. This isn't a macroeconomic thing. Historically, when the Fed raises rates, they do so for 18 months before they start cutting rates again. Okay, we're 8 months through this. We're almost halfway through the cycle of raising rates. So the projection is, if you watch the video that we showed you, had you watch, that the Fed likely will start potentially cutting rates in the spring of next year, which would be perfect because that's when we've got a great housing graph to show you in here too, because that sort of is when the market's going to start picking up again, right? Okay, this is data from Google. Fewer people searched homes for sale on Google. Searches during the week ending July 2nd were down 2%. So I don't know if that's seasonal. I don't know if that was the day of the week or if the weekend had 2 weekends on it or whatever, but it's down 2%. So there is slightly less people looking for housing, certainly not substantially more, right?
No, not
what people would naturally think would happen.
Right. And also remember that was the week of the 4th of July holiday, and it was a huge travel weekend. Americans definitely went out in force. Look, we've all been cooped up for a long time, so everybody took the opportunity to go out and have some fun. in spite of the high gas prices.
Yeah, we were out for the 4th of July, and it was where we were was a ton of people. There were a ton of people. Median home sale price was up 13% year over year to $396,000. The growth rate is down from the March peak of 16%. So homes are still appreciating, just not as much as they were before.
Right, right. And that's natural for this time of year, right? Homes don't just keep doing this year round. Homes have kind of a little sine wave to them, and it's normal. It doesn't mean that the market is doing something awful.
Pending home sales were down 13% year over year, the largest decline since May of 2020. New listings of homes, so pending sales is the number of homes under contract, were down 13%. New listings of homes for sale were down 1.4%. So we have less homes coming on the market. And this is something we talked about. People are less when interest rates go up, people are less likely to sell their house and buy another house to move, right? We talked about people being locked into their house for a while. That this is one of the things that would prevent people from just flooding the market with homes for sales. Why would you give up your 2.5% interest rate and sell your house? Why would you want to give up that percentage rate? So there's less homes on the market. This data clearly shows that down. The new numbers of listings are down 1.4%.
Right. And it's taking a little bit longer for homes to sell. Hence, we've got pending sales not being as strong. And again, that's normal for this time of year.
45% of homes that went under contract had accepted offer within the first 2 weeks on the market, down 49%. Oh, down from 49%.
Right.
So a year ago, 49% of all homes had accepted offer 2 weeks. It's down to 45%. That's still historically ridiculous.
That's crazy, because a normal time to sell a house is 4 to 6 months.
Right.
So the fact that they're selling in a couple of weeks, woohoo!
Historically, about 10% of houses do sell almost immediately because either they're just in a hot part of town, the price is a little low, the sellers are sort of motivated, just I need to get out of here, I need to sell it pretty quick, I have a whatever, I don't want to sit around in whatever. They sell to an investor. But 45% is still unheard of. That's still a super hot market. This is not match what some. This is national, right? There's certainly some markets. We saw Boise where there were like a lot of more homes have come on the market recently. Okay, and some of those are new homes that came on the market. 32% of homes that went under contract had accepted offer within 1 week of hitting the market, down from 35%. So remember the 2 week number? The 1 week number is 32%, down from 30. So it's not down 35%, it's just down a little bit.
So that means that a third of the homes that went on the market had an accepted offer within a week. That's a home run.
So keep this in mind. When you see an article that says homes are selling like 10% less, that's what they're talking about. That instead of 35% selling a week, only 32% a week. That's a 10% less homes are selling. It doesn't mean they're not going to sell. It's just they're not going to sell like in a week.
And then remember, when a home sells in a week, what are the odds that home did not sell for asking or above asking price, right? Chances are that it sold for for good bit of money relative to value, because otherwise that seller wouldn't have just grabbed the offer and said, yeah, thank you very much, I'm moving on.
Speaking of that, 52% of homes sold above list price, down from 53% a year earlier. More homes than... Now, keep this in mind. If you look at, people were getting 103% or whatever of their sale price, and then they had to drop their price. And so let's say 38% of the people on the market dropped their price from 103% of what it would sell for to 102% or something. They report that as a down. It's negative, but it's just a change in how much up they're getting, right? So that's one of the things to be careful of, because I saw somebody posted that number about sales are down 38%. And I was like, well, they're not down 38%. That number doesn't make any sense. But then when I looked at the data, it just 38% of people reduced their list price because everyone's not selling for over list price now.
Right.
Okay. All right. The average sale price to list price ratio, which measures how close homes are to selling to their asking price, declined to 101.9. So it went down to 101.9%. The average home sold for 1.9% above its asking prices was down from 102%, 0.2% a year earlier.
So in plain words, homes are still selling for over asking price.
Historically, a normal market, 97, 98%.
Right.
People overprice their home a little bit by a couple percent. There's some negotiation. Maybe they pay some closing costs. They sell the house. Most of you who have ever bought and sold in normal markets, you get this. The buyer can always say, oh yeah, I got a little less than the price, so I'm pretty happy about that. The seller will say, well, we listed high, but we got what we wanted, so we're happy with that. Everybody ends up happy in the end. So these are brand new numbers. They just came out. Whatever you've been saying about how the market's collapsing and everything and whatever, just be careful what numbers they're quoting, because they're quoting a change. The prices didn't drop 1%. What they're getting above their asking price is changing. People's asking prices are getting more in line as more homes come on the market.
So I just want to reiterate what Todd said. Traditionally, homes sell for 97% of their list price. They are now selling for 101% of their list price. Does that sound like a crash to you?
No, it doesn't. Here's the last chart for this. This is very eye-opening. This median sale prices are up 12.5% year over year. This is a 4-week rolling average of median homes sold. As you can see, now these are national numbers. Now, what's interesting is on the bottom line, you have 2020. What normally is the home prices keep going up, you see it dip down, and that was the lockdowns. Because people literally couldn't get into houses. There were actually MLSs that said no showings, like we're restricting anybody from showing the house. And people were upset going, you can't tell me I can't show my house. But they literally told the agents you can't allow showings at all. They have to be no showings. And then what happened is in June, when it started to open up again, the market took off and it just kept going up, right? And then the normal market in October, November, where it starts to decline, that didn't happen. They just kept going up. And then if you go to the next line up, that blue line, 2021, you had slight price declines beginning of the year. And what happened in March is they shot up till July, and then they actually creep down a little bit, and then they start going up the end of the year, and then they keep going down until March, and then what do? They go up again. So this trend, and we're just in the cycle. So now you're going to hear, probably for the next 4 months, we're going to have to listen to, watch videos and listen to people comment about the video they watch where home prices are falling. They're falling. Well, yeah, this happens every year. But think about 2021. People were saying, this is it. This is the market crash. You could see prices falling. It's just going to keep, it's the top of the heap. It's going to keep going down. And what happened? It turned around, went up. Don't know what's going to happen with prices, but we just want to point out that we're just looking at natural historical cycles. We're still within the boundary of what's a natural historical cycle. Yes, home prices have gone up crazy the last 2 years. We're not saying that their affordability is much harder than it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Homes are still more affordable than they were 15 years ago.
Right. So, if you're concerned about the market, take a little bit of solace in watching this chart, because the market's doing, at least at this point, what it has traditionally done.
There's a lot of underlying economic things. Like I said, watch the video that came out yesterday. Most of you probably already watched it and you saw the numbers on unemployment, on the chance of recession, and the jobs growth. It's all amazing. This is all very good for housing. The can't wait for the market to crash so I can go buy a house finally. I feel bad for those people. We don't know. Maybe home prices will go down. They might. Right now, interest rates, we just talked about interest rates, had the largest weekly fall. Probably bounce around, and then maybe by next spring, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. We'll know for sure in October, November, how bad the housing, if the housing market gets really bad, or if it's kind of doing its normal thing, because that's when it starts this sort of chilling out phase for the next few months.
Right. So, if you have any comments, please leave us some comments, because we do want to hear from you. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, and
we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.